WNB1 Radio, your urban music link.
Welcome to WNB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports, where I'm joined by my usual Steve Lopes and Derek Consatio.
What up? What
What
up?
up, good people?
What's going on, fellas? So, today was a warm day out
Yeah,
today.
it sure was, man. I was
Um,
riding around with the Jeep with the top down.
Top down. Oh,
Top was
oh,
down.
oh my God, top down. Huh? I would say that was outside, but I was inside here the whole day doing work. So I don't know. I went
Same here.
outside. I went outside a couple of times. Walked down to Dunkin' Donuts maybe, and that was about it. I did enjoy the how warm it was, but for the most part, I was inside doing work.
I found out around noontime. I went outside to go check my messages, and I was like, yo. I was all bracing for the cold to hit me when I opened the door, and then I got outside like,
Yeah, so unseasonably warm, but at the end of the day, I'll take it. I'll take
That's
60 degrees today and 60 degrees tomorrow. So
I'm hoping for a 60-degree day on Saturday too, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that. Got the young boys with their New England Regional Championship game. You know what I mean?
what
good
time?
luck.
How early is that?
9:00 in Cambridge.
Woo!
Oh, 9 o'clock. Sun's
So that's-
barely up too.
I
So
know.
9
I know.
o'clock. So 9 o'clock is like a quarter to 7 leave time.
No, 7:00 check-in.
Oh, jeez.
So
Wow.
we're looking at a 5:30 leave time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck to them guys with their
Definitely.
game.
Thank you.
So we got a lot of sports to dive into. As you know, the week 10 just concluded. We're into week 11 now. So of course we'll
Went
do
by fast.
as
football
we
does go by so
normally do. We'll look at the week that was week 10. We'll touch upon some key games, and there were a lot of them, as well as preview week 11, which there are some key games as well. We're getting down to we're cutting away from all the fat and we're getting to the meat, and it's starting to get interesting, very interesting.
Been a lot of meat in Minnesota lately.
Why did I know he was going to go there?
I'm just saying, meat,
Okay, we'll see.
good sales.
We'll see.
See what happens.
See what
Some
happens.
Lion meat coming
We'll
down
see
in a
what
couple
happens.
of weeks.
You do not want no
Oh
part of
boy!
that.
All right,
Some
let's
lion
save
meat.
it.
We
Let's
had some bear meat
let's-
already.
Let's save it. Let's save it for another time. Also, we'll be talking about some NBA. Draymond Green suspended 5 games. Was it worth it? Was it warranted? We'll touch upon that. He has a history. We'll touch upon that, right? Also, are y'all digging the NBA in-season tournament?
I'm not.
I think
The courts are freaking me out.
that's what makes it interesting.
It's
it gives-
different. It's different.
It looks like,
It's an eye catcher
yeah.
for the people
But I
that aren't
remember when the
NBA
ABA
people.
was around, like a gimmicky thing, or the USFL. Like, it gives me that feel for some reason.
But I don't know. Maybe they just want to change shit up
We'll-
to get more viewers.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what you do like about it, what you don't like about it. We'll also give you some insight as to how it works. A lot of people are unaware of how it works, so we'll break it down for you, as well as the prize money that's involved. So we'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about in the NFL. We'll talk about key injury. Deshaun Watson out for the season. Are the Cleveland Browns regretting giving him all that money? Are they getting a good return thus far for what they paid out? We'll talk about that. We'll discuss that. So week 10, Deshaun Watson, Draymond Green, NBA in-season tournament. And if you have anything else that you'd like to talk about or you want to bring up, remember, phone lines are always open. You can call in at 774-425-2631. That is the call-in line. You're more than welcome to. We love the participation.
Yes,
All right.
do.
We love the participation. So come on, go, do your thing. We'll get into it right now. And we'll start with the NFL week 10 in review. All right. So there was some pretty key games that happened. We'll start first. Our first stop will be Cleveland and Baltimore. All right. So as Tale
Cleveland,
of
two halves.
Cleveland. Let's just start here first. We always talk about power rankings. This team's number one. Last week we were talking about Baltimore potentially was one of the best teams.
Every time we anoint somebody 1 or 2, they lose.
Yeah.
All right. So do you want to anoint Detroit the best team?
Yeah. Best team.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah, because you're gonna prove us wrong.
Hey, and that's on video. That this man just admitted that Detroit was the best team.
One
That's
or
on
2.
video.
All right.
So I'll put them 2 because I still think Philly's number 1.
All right. Wait,
Yeah,
all right.
without doubt,
So what we will talk about is that every time, as you were saying, that we anoint someone or we put them in our top spot, they end up losing. And this was the case for Baltimore. Baltimore was considered by a lot of people as probably, on both sides of the ball, they were probably the most dominant team going into last week, and were anointed as the number one. So say, I mean, granted, Philadelphia has the best record, but Philadelphia has been scraping by, and should have probably lost some of those games.
Couple,
but Baltimore, on the other hand, they've been winning in dominant fashion and doing it both sides of the ball.
Doing it to teams that are
against good teams,
leading their divisions.
Yes, against good teams. So as you would know, Cleveland came back from a 14-point deficit.
Was Watson already hurt, or did he finish the game?
No, he finished.
He got hurt. He got hurt, and I forget exactly when, but I want to say he got hurt and came back.
Yeah, he came back. He finished the game.
That makes it even.
He finished
more
the game.
impressive
No, he
that
finished the game.
Playing with damaged
he
goods
finished.
or not playing.
He finished the drive.
PJ Walker threw one pass.
Yeah, he finished. He came back in, and he's the one ultimately that rallied him back. But more importantly, I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but it was the battle of the top 2 defenses in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Number 1 and number 2.
Talking about Cleveland.
Number 1 and number 2 in the NFL. And as luck would have it, there was 60+ points scored in the game. So there wasn't much defense going on.
During that comeback, wasn't it Cleveland's defense that kept getting key turnovers that put them in? So the offense didn't have to do that much.
They had a pick 6.
They had a pick 6.
Yes. They got another turnover,
and they got a forced fumble. Yeah. But you still have to.
Defense was their best offense.
You still have to score points, though. Ultimately, they made the turnovers into 7 points.
Yeah, they made them count.
So when you look at the stats, nothing really jumps out at you as far as the quarterbacks. Both guys had pedestrian-like stats. Deshaun Watson, 20 out of 34, 213 yards. Lamar Jackson, 13 out of 23, 1 TD, but the 2 INTs. A key point of emphasis for me is looking at Baltimore. The games in which they have lost, right? They're 6-3. All 3 of those games, they've gone into the fourth quarter leading by double digits and have lost. So that's concerning. You could be 6-3, and ultimately you could probably be 9-0. But if you can't finish the deal, what does that say about you, right? And this is something that has shown up 1, 2, 3 too many times. And the kicker is you have a great running game. You should be able to wilt the league. There we go. You should be able to wilt away the clock with a running game. And somehow, some way, they always find a way to turn over the ball in those key losses. Not once, not twice, sometimes 3 times. Well, and give the other team a chance.
That running game you're speaking of, a lot of it's made up of Lamar. And when they're salting away the clock, they don't really want Lamar running the ball a lot. I don't think they have that dog that they can lean on. They got a bunch of capable guys that, they can get the job done. You're mixing it up because you're worried about Lamar running. So you hold the linebackers longer. But in crunch time, when you're trying to salt it away, I don't think those guys are guys you can move the chains with to wind down the clock.
They don't have a Derrick Henry type.
And they don't
not a lot of
one receiver.
Nobody. I shouldn't say that, but they don't really have
Andrews
that guy that's going to get you the 4 and 5 yards consistently.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you knew like back in the heyday with Zeke and stuff, if you had a lead, you gave him the ball 3 times, he was going to keep moving the chains. 3 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, first down. Now you got another 4 down, another 3 downs to run it. You keep the clock moving. You're not passing the ball. Teams that rely on the pass, every incompletion, the clock stops. Took 45 seconds off the clock to run.
But it's the crazy part. Like we were saying earlier, this is the #1 rushing offense in the league.
Yeah. But I think a lot of it during the first 3 quarters is because you have to worry about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Lamar's not going to wilt the clock away. He's not going to be that workhorse. He doesn't want to take that contact in the fourth quarter. Everybody's expecting you to run. And Mark Andrews is their best go-to receiver. Those other guys haven't stepped up to say, I feel confident going. They don't have, a true #1.
Well, Odell Beckham had a touchdown.
Yeah, 1 catch of 40 yards.
Yeah,
that's all. One
it.
for a touchdown. That's all you need.
Give me the damn ball. See what I do when I get it.
But this is the crazy part. They only rushed the ball 24 times.
Yeah, it's but you got to remember, turning the ball over too, isn't it, that takes away from a lot. And they were up, like I said, they were up by 13 points, at 14 points, and ultimately ended up losing the game. Two turnovers, can be the difference, obviously, in being able to just think about one. If you could hold the ball for 4 to 5 minutes longer, you may have won the game. Yep. But when you continuously turn the ball over in key situations, it's never going to turn out well for you. And that's the case for Baltimore. Like I said, in all 3 of their losses, they had double-digit leads and ultimately have lost those games. So that's something that they need to.
So would you put more attention on their lack of salting games away with the running game, or their defense giving up big plays in the fourth quarter? Because that's when their defense is breaking down.
It's a combination of both, though. I think that you have to be aware, and you have to obviously take care of the ball when you're getting into the fourth quarter. This is where their woes are. And then conversely, on defense, you have to live up to that billing of a number 2 defense, a top 5 defense. You have to live up to it. You can't just let teams score at will, drive down the. I think the final. I want to say the final drive was like 8 plays for 50-something yards. Ultimately ended, with a the game winner. But you just can't. Good teams don't let that happen, and you can't let. I mean, it's just, if it continually happens, it'll continue happen going down towards the end of the season. So that's where they're at now. But more importantly, it's a divisional game. So if you look at that division, everybody is above 500. Everyone.
Are they the only division like that?
Yes, they are.
That's how I thought the AFC East was going to be, but
they are the only division in which was above 5. So that was the case last year for the NFC East.
Right.
Remember, they had 3 out of the 4 teams, and even Washington finished over 500. For a good portion of the year, you had Dallas and Philly, and the Giants were a close tick behind. Actually, they were actually, I want to say, up until Dallas played them, they were actually not leading in second place. But ultimately Dallas beating them twice, kind of kicked them down to third place. But this is the thing. So these divisional games, so now you have Cleveland at 6-3 and Baltimore at 7-3. Ultimately, you have a virtual tie, because you got one team that's played one more and one team that's is up with one more game.
These teams played each other already.
Oh, did they?
I want to say this is the second time that they're playing each other.
Was it? I wasn't sure.
Cleveland and Baltimore?
I believe. Hold on. I believe so.
But it doesn't make it.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore beat them 28-3 the first time.
Okay. All right. So now in that case, it's 1-1.
It's 1-1.
So now you got to take care of business for your overall record.
Baltimore's a half game up.
Yeah. Well, they got one more game played.
Yeah.
So 6-3 and 7-3.
So if I'm not mistaken, Baltimore plays tonight.
Yes, they do. Which is another divisional game.
Which they got a little mini bye week
Conference game.
because they play Thursday. They don't play until next Sunday, and it's next Sunday night at that. Then after that, they get another bye week. Oh wait, no, they play the Rams and the bye week.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference how you look at it.
Bye week in between, but
It doesn't make a difference how you look at. Look, we're down to crunch time. You have to take care of. I always say it. You have to take care of the division, and then your conference, your overall record. If you can't win in your division, then you're not gonna be there in the end. So you have to take care of your division foes first, and then you work your way out of the division into the conference, and then your overall record.
Yeah, they got a pretty tough schedule for the rest of the week.
Who's they?
The Ravens
starting tonight.
They got the Bengals, the Chargers, which you never know what you
they
can
could keep it competitive.
Then they got the Rams with Stafford back. They got a decent offense. And then the Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers.
Yeah, that's
gimmies.
That's
what I'm saying. They got a tough road ahead.
Yeah, well,
they probably fattened up at the beginning of the year. Now they got to pay the piper.
But what's helping them out is they got a late bye, so they can rest people up.
Yeah. Anything else from that game that got you guys, or you want to make?
Well, the whole Deshaun Watson thing coming out of that game.
Yeah.
Like Cleveland's playing so well. I don't know how much they can withhold. They lost Chubb. Yeah. They get Watson, they lose him, they get him back, they lose him again, and now it's for the whole season.
And they got their rookie starting.
So you need a new quarterback leading your team, a backup running back leading your backfield. That's a lot of pressure to put on that defense.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they're going to be a formidable team, but in the end, I don't know how much I can trust Dorian Thompson-Brown to
UCLA rookie.
Yes. I don't know how much I can trust him to say, okay, lead me to the promised land.
What you know something funny? In preseason, who was their backup?
Your guy.
Bet you they wish they would have kept him now.
Your guy, yeah.
Because he would have fit in well with them.
Yeah. It's just one of those things that it happens a lot. You'll have high expectations, and the funny part about it was in the last 3 weeks we really started to pay attention to Cleveland because of the fact that their defense has been so dominant. It's been so dominant, and we look at the numbers. We look at you talk about the numbers, all right. As far as Deshaun Watson goes, I don't even think he's had. I don't even think he's had a 300-yard game yet.
No, I don't think so either.
All his games, all his stats are 260, 230, 220, 100. He had one game where he threw for 100 and change, but it's nothing overwhelming. It's not the Deshaun Watson, pre his issue that he had. The guy who was throwing for 300 yards and running close to another 100 yards. It's the defense that's spearheading that team. And ultimately, Dorian Thompson-Brown, he's going to have to, put up some points in a division in which, I mean, let's face it, there's some very formidable teams in that division, and I don't know. If I were to
formidable defenses in that division,
formidable teams, defenses, offenses,
I'm just saying,
everybody's above 500. If I were to bet on whether or not they were to, that they were going to be able to, excel in that division, I would take the latter and say no.
What's their record right now?
They're 6-3.
The most he's thrown for us.
I could see him ending up.
Yeah, 89. I looked it up, and I know he was close to 300 yards one game. Everything else has been short of. So it's not him that's spearheading any of the the attack or the let's go guys. It's the defense.
Yep.
So well, I'll put it into context for you. I kind of stumbled upon their defense a few weeks ago when Dallas was on a bye. And I was like, I started looking. I go, wait a second, they're pretty good. Somebody else must have did that too. Somebody must have dropped them. Somebody must have dropped them, and I picked them up. I have not let them go.
I have to wait for my defense.
I have not let them go. So I've been flip flopping between them and Dallas, depending on the matchup. And 1 week they got me close to, I want to say it was like 25 points. But
they force turnovers.
Well, not only turnovers, but scoring defense. That's the key. Scoring defense. That's what what you definitely what you want. And it's like, it's like, okay. Okay, what is he saying? Vikings, Cowboys, all three hosts
prime shit talking position.
No, listen, Keith, it's just called the chill position. That's all we're doing. It's called chilling out. All right. No need to be uptight or anything like that. And speaking of which, so you're on what, 4-game winning streak?
Five games.
Right now, we're the longest winning streak in the league since Baltimore lost.
So that means they'll lose next week.
Let's go. Best team in the league. Fucking nope.
No. So you're what? 2 games?
2 games.
We're on a 2-game winning streak too. But I mean, we all got something to be proud about here. I won't say anything further, Keith. I promise. I'm not going to any games either. I'm not going to any more games. So you cannot blame me. You cannot blame me.
You can't say the same for Dino.
No, I don't
Who's
believe
Keith's
so.
team?
Cowboys.
Oh.
So, yeah, and here we go. Yeah. So Paul's saying he can't get the inside massage like he did when he was in Houston.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're not gonna hit the same anymore. But I don't know. But yeah, he's not the wheels that turn that vehicle out in Cleveland. So yeah, if I would have bet, I'd say, listen, you know what? They'll be good, but in the end, they just probably won't have.
I just have a real.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I have a real soft spot for the Browns because, like I said earlier, losing Chubb and now losing Watson, they were with the way their defense was playing. If they would have stayed healthy on offense, they were in prime position. They're already 6-3 without Chubb. What if they had Chubb all year and they won one more of those games? You're talking they could be 7-2. But without Watson and without Chubb, you're asking way too much. And how the Cleveland Browns have been the Browns for a long time. This might have been their year to get to the playoffs, maybe win a game, and that's being taken away because you can't account for injury.
Yeah,
their losses are the Steelers, Ravens,
I think all in the division,
and Seattle.
Okay, 2 in the division, 1 out of.
But this is the remaining schedule: Steelers at home against Steelers, away against the Broncos, away against the Rams, at home against the Jags, at home against the Bears, away against the Texans, at home against the Jets, and away against the Bengals.
They have some winnable games, but with their state of health, all those games are tough games.
Yeah. I mean, you just
got to keep doing it with the defense like they've been.
There's no room for error. Let's just put it that way.
They still have decent running backs.
Yeah. Well, it's the offensive line too.
Paul, watch your mouth, boy.
It's the offensive line too. So just like the Lions. Yeah. So anything else before we move on?
Was there any other games that surprised?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. No,
before we move on to the next game. No, move on to the next game.
We'll move on to the next game. All right. So one of the close games happened to be your team, right? Detroit outlasted.
Went down to the last
Chargers.
Went down to the last.
The Chargers. All right.
We had no answer for Allen.
There wasn't much defense being played. 41-38.
It was tough.
Herbert cost me a victory, right? Hater, Paul Moran.
Almost 80 points here.
Why?
He had him. He pulled it out and beat me in fantasy.
So it turned out to be the last one. Whoever had the ball last was going to win.
And that's what happened.
I think a big takeaway from this game was the ability to convert on 4th down.
That's crazy. My thing is, how many times have they both went for it?
Yeah. Well,
so there was no punter in that game.
But so I listened to a segment on this on ESPN radio. Those two coaches in the last 3 years have gone for more more fourth downs than all, with the exception of all but one team.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And we know who is number one. It's the tush push guys.
Yeah, there you
go. Only because they're so successful in that.
Yeah.
But those are the two most gambling coaches on fourth down. We see what it's done for the Chargers. It hasn't worked out all too well sometimes for the Chargers, but the ability for your coach, especially on the last drive, he's like, no, we're not going to kick a field goal and give it back to the guy and let that guy that had 180 yards, almost 170 something yards, whatever it was. We're not gonna give him a chance to get the ball.
He was moving the ball like
yeah. So yeah, I mean, it just Goff. He played well. What did he have? He's 23 out of 33 for 333 yards, 2 TDs. Herbert was 27 out of 40 with 4 TDs.
That's what killed me.
All
their scores were passing touchdowns.
Yes.
Him and Allen were on point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Keenan Allen was 11 catches for 175 and 2.
I was like, isn't Keenan Allen supposed to be getting old? Hasn't he been around for like 100 years?
He just runs great.
He's not the fastest dude in the league. He reminds me of your guy because they're USC guys, pristine route runners, not blistering speed, but they know how to get open.
So you got to remember too, he's a big target too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He high points the ball. And the thing I noticed that when he played against us, he's not one of those wide receivers that waits for the ball.
He
goes and gets it.
Yeah.
So if you're 6'3" going to get the ball, you turn into 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys that's going to do this. He's going to do this. Go up for it, and he high points it.
Yep.
Just imagine if they had the other guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Mike Woods.
You're talking about two giants.
And they got that rookie that has
That's the first time I seen him play decent.
He hasn't even touched the surface yet.
Because the other guy, Guyton, looked good, and he's coming back.
He just came back from the injury.
Yeah, but him and both their like number 3 and number 4 guys looked all right yesterday. I mean, this week.
Sunday. Yeah.
So your guy Amon, he fared pretty well.
8 for 156.
8 for 150 and a touchdown. But you guys were able to rush the ball really well too.
That's what
Montgomery came back. We talked about that last week.
But we got the number 1 ranked offensive line right now.
Yeah.
When them guys
that change of pace between Gibbs and
Montgomery,
that helps. What to plan for.
And when they're healthy, that's tough. We haven't even been healthy yet.
I noticed it on short down yardage and red zone. Montgomery just runs so hard and runs people. You can't arm tackle him.
We missed him 2 games ago.
Mm-hmm.
When we couldn't punch it in against the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
If we
One minute you're getting banged over, the next minute Gibbs is giving you the juke moves.
If we had him against the Raiders, we blew them out by like 5 touchdowns. We was inside the 20 3 times in the score. That's and we ended up winning by 2 touchdowns.
The short yardage game, Montgomery. I thought he was good with Chicago, but Chicago obviously didn't have the line that Detroit has. So when he left and went to Detroit, people underestimated how good Detroit's line was. And then we didn't know, because Gibbs was drafted so high, how much is he going to get the ball? And they got a nice little balance going on.
Now, hey.
Listen, it's always better to have 2 running backs than 1.
You should know.
Pounding.
You should know.
Take the pounding.
I don't know that now, but for the last 2.5 years, I knew.
Yeah.
But yes, we're facing that issue now. We can't get another running back to spell Pollard. But getting back to you guys, so it was a shootout. This is the only concern that I have for you guys. If you're not able to stop guys, then I don't know. That's what scares me about you guys.
Yeah,
I think you guys, obviously, offensively, you're blessed. Wide receivers, tight end.
Your defense is still.
We don't have
come together.
We don't have that other pass rusher.
Yeah, you got to get somebody on the opposite
we just
side.
We just picked up the kid from that played with Seattle, Irvington. I forget his name.
I remember Bruce Irvin.
Bruce Irvin. That's who we just picked up. So hopefully,
if he's got some gas in the tank, it can't hurt.
Yeah, he won't play this week, obviously, because we just picked him up yesterday. in the practice squad. So we'll see what happens next week.
He's saying Paul's giving your team some props.
Man, I don't
Saying
take nothing from him. Get out of here.
But yeah, moving forward, that's the only thing that offensively, you guys have everything you need. You have the quarterback, you have the running backs, you have the wideouts, you have the tight end, you have the offensive line. I don't know what more you
and the things you just mentioned, I saw an article
ball control
that surprised me. When they made that trade for Goff and Stafford, everybody thought Detroit got the worst end of the deal.
Yeah.
Now they're predicting what his contract's going to be next year. And they're estimating based on the top salaries that he'll come in fifth if he's franchised. That's 5 years, $210 million.
Yeah.
And right now, people want to keep Goff.
Oh yeah.
How old is he?
No,
because he had a good year in LA his first year. Then after that,
still in his 20s.
Yeah, but I'm saying he can sign a 5-year and playing at this rate, he's very comfortable. He has a lot of confidence. You don't need to add nothing to your offense. Build that defense around him.
That's what you need. You need to go out and you need to.
Everything's got to be defense and free agency and in the draft and fill up some more holes.
Yeah, that needs the to be the point of emphasis for you guys moving forward.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker. Yeah, he's not going to start. Goff's playing way too well, but Hooker's out this whole year because of injury anyway.
Yeah,
Tennessee quarterback.
Yeah,
but next year he can develop into I think he's back at practice.
He just turned 29 in October.
All right, so he'll be 34 at the end of the next contract. You know,
yeah, I mean? That's no
that's
problem.
no big deal.
No,
for today's going rate, like
no
Brian
problem
mentioned before. But we're talking with Cousins. The quarterbacks are getting big money. There's no way around it. You know, like 5 years, $210 million. That's $42 million. $42.5 million.
That's not too much off to what he's getting. No, I think he's getting like 30 something now, anyways.
Goff is.
I
didn't know he was getting that big a contract, but everybody was like, he's a stopgap, and they're gonna find a quarterback.
Maybe 25.
And now he's proven you found your guy. You got a couple of year test drive, and
well, I mean, let's face it. The good, if you looked at it when the deal was first made, Detroit was on the other side of the coin. They were already in a rebuild process, and it just so happens that he happened to
they acquired a lot of those assets.
Yes, and it was just so good that he got a good. He has a good offensive line.
He's guaranteed. His average salary is $33.5.
Yeah, so he's gonna get $10 million a year raise.
Yeah. And
extra $50 million over 5 years.
and for him, you know, if you would have called me up and you would have said you're getting traded to the Lions, I'd be like, but as luck would have it, new coach, new attitude, new culture, and the building process that has taken place is a good one. They've been hitting on all their picks, whether it's in a positional with positional players or the offensive line. They've just hit with all their picks, and when you do that, nothing but good things are going to come about.
They're talking about their front office. Their GM's going to be GM of the year this year,
more than likely.
Remember, he had all those picks last year, and everybody was like, "Why take Gibbs that high?" Then they took the other linebacker that nobody really knew of real high.
Jack Campbell.
He's going to develop.
He was the best linebacker in college football last year.
He's going to develop into an eventual all-star.
Yep.
He's just not talented. He has a learning curve. His first year, by the third year, he's going to be a problem. So he's going to be around. And then they got the safety,
Brian Branch
Yep. Yo, they hit, and then they got the tight end Laporta. That's 4 right there.
So I got Laporta, and a guy really tried to try to trade, ask for a trade today for Laporta. I'm like, you must have fell and banged your head.
That's a security blanket.
Yeah. I mean, my other tight end, which I was using in the flex because I was using both of them because my wide receivers just weren't happening. I had CeeDee Lamb up until 3 weeks ago. He was pretty much
disappearing.
Yeah, it was a no-show. But I was just flexing either one of those guys and keeping them both in the lineup because they were both giving me catches with yards, touchdowns. Unfortunately, Goddard is gone for another 2 to 3 weeks. So, but I'm like, no, he's. Why would I want to get rid of one of the best?
And I just lost my tight end.
Yeah. I don't have it like that. So it was funny today. I tried to give me some scrubs
That happens in every league.
Yeah,
People like,
I looked at him.
so
like,
you don't think I watch every week? I don't know what's going on.
Wait a second. I might have been born at night, but not last night, you know?
And when it comes to a team like Detroit, when I play fantasy, one of the things that I get success in the drafts is I just draft people who are on good offensive systems.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's big name, not Detroit. I'll take any one of. I'll take Goff, who I have in like 3 leagues. I'll take St. Brown, who I have in like 2 leagues. I'll take Montgomery. I might take Gibbs. I'll take Laporta, because somebody's got to score in that. Like they're going to put up points. So all Detroit's players have been putting up points.
Yeah. So I mean, it remains to be seen. I mean, what favors you guys is your schedule. Out of all the teams, the top teams with at least 6 to 7 wins, I looked at the schedule and it most favors you guys.
Yes.
As right
now,
except week 15 and 17.
that's the hardest spot of
Cincinnati.
No, we don't.
We got Cincinnati.
We have Dallas.
So we got the same.
We don't play
similar.
Cincinnati.
No, the hard games.
Oh yeah.
You got Dallas. We got Cincinnati, and we play each other twice. So we both got 4 really tough games.
3 for us.
The divisional games are always tough.
Yeah. We've had our tough schedule in the beginning of the year. And we
look at Paul. Well, that wasn't a bad.
That's not a bad. That's kind of even,
because Herbert's playing better now.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, I have him in my big league, and until like last week, he's doing really.
You don't really get enough touches.
Yeah. They've been splitting it with the other tight end there. They got
not a
change of pace.
Not even a tight end. You're talking about Pitts, but the other running back.
No, the other running back.
You said the other tight end.
Oh, well, the other running back they've been splitting time. So he can't get into a rhythm if
he don't get enough
series.
He needs more touches.
I think they don't want to beat up on him early. They know they got somebody special for a while, but he has to get the ball to get into a rhythm.
So we'll move on to the next game. We'd be kicking ourselves in the pants if we didn't talk about CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got to talk about that Houston game.
Yeah, that's a game.
Yeah, and look at his stats again.
So Houston obviously came back from 13 points down, led by CJ Stroud, with a little bit of help from Mr. Burrow, who had some key turnovers in the, he actually had 2 turnovers in the red zone, which they could have put the game away easily. So on 2 different occasions, but he turned the ball over. But listen, when someone turns the ball over to you, you do what you're supposed to do. It's score. They came back from 13 points down, spearheaded by that guy again, CJ Stroud.
Hey, what did that guy
23 for 39 for 356 yards.
356.
All right.
They were playing a hot Cincinnati team.
1 TD, 1 interception.
But he also had 2 fumbles, though.
That's okay. It's
he got some help from unknown source that hasn't been producing like
Noah Brown.
Oh no, Noah Brown's been producing.
But I'm saying 7 for 172.
But did you see what Mr. Singletary stats were?
Oh yeah,
30 for 150.
Yes.
So they had the running game and passing game, because when your quarterback throws for 350, running back runs, a backup running back runs.
All I want to know was, where was this Noah Brown in Dallas?
Too many strip clubs, hanging out.
I want to know 7 for 172.
He didn't have a good quarterback.
Oh no.
He went to Houston. Deshaun Watson gave him some recommendations on where to go to
relax. That's not true, because
James Harden gave him some recommendations.
That's not true, because every year, another interesting stat. Every year that Dak has been in the league, he's had a wide receiver that has at least had 1,000 yards.
All right, but that's what I'm saying. He was going for the other guys instead of him.
No, let's get one thing straight. Everybody says, "Oh, he throws all these interceptions." He's not even close to being a league leader. He's not even close. So at this
year, I'm not talking about
that. He's only had 1 bad year. But you know what? Everybody blows him up. Why? So another key point. Why are people talking about Josh Allen, who does it every year?
Yes, I saw a meme on that too.
Who's led the league for the last 3 years, okay, in total turnovers by quarterbacks, and doesn't get the same, doesn't get beat upon like Dak gets beat up.
I don't know.
Dak only like I told you guys, it was an anomaly last year. That was the 1 year.
Buffalo's had more
The
success
1
than Dallas, so it kind
year.
of gets overlooked.
But no, this is the thing. It's because of the team that he plays for. People like to harp on it. You know, I obviously talk to a lot of guys, and we talk amongst ourselves, and it's always the same thing. It's like people, they want to glorify whenever Dak throws an interception because they want to pound on the Cowboys.
But you know who I see hating on Dak the most? Cowboy fans. They're not happy with him. A lot of my Cowboy friends on Facebook are throwing the blame on Dallas on Dak when they lose.
Well, rightfully so when he loses. And
we can't
listen, in the postseason is when it matters the most. So we're talking about a team that's won 12 games the last 2 years.
Right?
All right.
Dak's never done it in the postseason.
All right.
So
there we go.
This is
what we're talking about. We're getting off kilter anyway. I don't want to talk about that. But so let's talk about CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud again. So right now, as it stands, I believe he is he's probably
he's the front runner for the MVP.
If they win a few more games,
He has to be.
The only way.
He has to be.
The only way he will not, if he keeps performing at this rate, the only thing that will stop him will be overall record.
And he's above 500 right now.
But you know what I think should equal that out? He doesn't have supreme talent around him. He's doing it with rookie wide receivers, a cast off from Dallas, another cast off at tight end from Dallas.
Yeah, but that tight end was pretty good.
No, but they're not your main meat and potatoes. He's not a Mark Andrews or George Kittle type dude. He's a good tight end. Middle of the league.
He got paid the highest salary of a tight end.
He's no Laporta.
He didn't.
Yes, he did.
Our tight end's the highest paid in the league.
No, last year going into free agency, he was the highest paid tight end. Your tight end got paid this year, didn't he?
Yes.
I thought he got paid right before the season started.
No.
It was this year during
the season. He was the highest earner for a tight end this year. And you want to know the funny part about it is Dallas actually was going to offer him more money, and because
he's the main tight end in Houston.
Well,
he's splitting time with Ferguson.
There's another Dallas. I'm not happy with the after injury Dak. That's a Cowboy guy.
Well, a lot of people. We're not gonna tend to that because it's a whole different story. But as I was saying, CJ Stroud is got to be a front runner for MVP. Like I said, the only thing that will stop him is the record. Because let's face it, if Jalen Hurts goes 14-2,
but he has a whole team around him.
It doesn't make a difference.
I know, but he has a great cast around him.
Listen. It doesn't make a difference. When's the last time you witnessed a player on a sub 500 team or 500 get an MVP? It doesn't happen often.
No, you're right. I'm not talking about but you're saying Jalen Hurts. He's putting up decent numbers, but he also has the best cast around him.
It doesn't make a difference. Hey, listen, you can't fault somebody for doing their job.
You're right.
It goes back to the old adage, right? Barry Sanders would have rushed for 3,000 yards if he had an offensive line. Well, if my aunt was my uncle, she'd have a pair of balls, right?
Yeah.
But we can't speak hypothetically.
You're right.
You have to go with what you have. Just like when people say, "Oh, you're beating up on shitty teams," they're on my schedule, and you're beating them up the way they're supposed to be beaten up.
So, hypothetically, which it could possibly happen, but I'm not saying it, and I'm not doing this to float my own boat. Detroit finishes number 1 seed. Is Goff in contention for MVP?
He could be.
He's putting up numbers.
No, he could be. He could be.
He had a little bit of a low. He started off great, then he kind of mellowed out. That coincided with St. Brown being out and Montgomery being out.
That was the only really low he had was against Baltimore.
No, Seattle.
Do you play against Philly?
What are you talking about? We put up. You don't
play against Philly.
We put up 3-4 touchdowns against Seattle.
But I think he's got running scores in that game. I'm just saying his personal stats. I'm not 100%, but I know there was because
listen. So
I follow him like crazy because I got him in so many leagues.
Wait, hold on. Even before you make that point, right? it's one of those things where it's a continued success from last year. So yes, he would have to be mentioned in that bracket.
Even if you don't, he still has to be mentioned in.
Of course,
Goff,
of
Hurts,
course.
him, they're all in consideration. But
Of course.
whoever, if they're all pretty much having an equal year, the team with the best record's going to get that.
It always works out that way. The writers are swayed by the overall record. Unless you're a quarterback that is doing less because your defense is winning.
Yeah, 323 and 3 touchdowns against Seattle. 28 for 35, 323.
He puts up numbers.
3
Yeah, and I didn't know there was a lull where he had like 2 or 3 games where maybe the offense, maybe Montgomery had 2 or 3 touchdowns, and they.
There was a game.
I just thought it was Seattle, but there was like 2 games in a row. Baltimore definitely.
It was the beginning of the
season. Because I was like, damn, Goff is killing me. Like he was doing so good, and then 2 games in a row.
That was the beginning of the season because I have him too.
It was the Packers.
It was the beginning of the season, right?
No,
third,
because we played
second or third game.
Fourth game.
Yeah. But yeah, the bottom line is if he continues to play, and the team continues to win, it builds to the overall success with the wins. And I'm telling you, the writers are they're captivated by the win total, and the overall success of the team. And don't forget too, sometimes they will look at common opponents and head to head.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with it too. But no, if he wins and he continues to play at the the rate that he's playing, he has to be considered.
Is there anybody else besides quarterbacks that should be up for MVP? Would you consider Tyreek Hill's year or
AJ Brown?
He's kind of they
both fell off a little bit, but
they had good months.
But they're both on pace. At one point, they were both on pace to break
2,000 yards. Yeah,
to break Megatron.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah,
they've leveled out. They had good months. Both of them had pretty much mirroring a mirroring month, which was the month of October. And now they're kind of flatlining and evening out. It's tough for a positional player, not a quarterback, to get the MVP. You have to do record-breaking stuff. All right, for a running back, you have to almost run for 2,000 yards. For a wide receiver, you have to almost catch 2,000 yards. And you got to hope for quarterbacks to have shitty years or not so great years.
What about McCaffrey? Would he be up there?
I think he missed too many games.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't put him up there. He
missed like 2 or 3 games.
I don't think not 3 because I got him in one league. I think he missed 1 game.
No. He went out. So you
got torn ribs and played the next.
Yeah,
week.
no, he played that game. No, he didn't sit out. He played. He went out of 1 game.
Yeah, he got hurt in 1 game,
but he still scored a touchdown.
Yeah, he scored on
and
the
then
first
he came,
possession.
And then he came back because he's got 17 straight games in which he's got a touchdown.
But he didn't score last week.
He didn't?
Nope.
He didn't score last week?
His interview, I must suck. Everybody else on the team scored but me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? So his streak got broken.
Yeah, he didn't score.
But yeah, I don't know. He's not doing anything, other than that touchdown streak. It's not like he's rushed for is he even amongst the league leaders in rushing? I don't think so. Touchdowns, maybe.
He's got to be amongst the league lead.
Touchdowns,
16
maybe.
attempts, 95 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Touchdowns, maybe. Other than that,
but you add his receiving yards to his running yards.
Yeah, that's true.
His total yards.
So he'd have to get probably close to 3,000 yards, 15 and 15, to get MVP.
I'm just trying to think who else would be a viable candidate, and they have to be on a team that's winning.
The win.
McCaffrey leads the league
in rushing.
In rushing,
what's he got?
747.
Yeah, see, that's so.
And then add on his receiving. You got a leading rusher.
747.
Probably the leading receiver out of the backfield.
I don't know. I think ETN.
He would.
ETN.
Well, they're close because I had ETN as a surprise MVP dark horse until they lost
badly. The part about it is the whole leads the league in passing yards. How?
Oh, I picked him up when Cousins got hurt.
Yeah. He
did well for me last week.
He's slinging it. That's all he does.
He don't throw for touchdowns, but he throws.
He slings. They don't have much of a running game.
No.
And he just throws. But But yeah, if you're not a quarterback, it makes it extremely hard. I think somebody who has like an above average year, who's a running back and a wide receiver, someone who has an exceptionally well year, would be overtaken by a quarterback that has a good year.
That's the
Because
glorified position.
yes, exactly. But yeah, if your guy, if let's say you go on and you lose 3 games and Philly loses 4 games or whatever the case may be, yeah, he's got to be up there. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
You know what else I like about that Texans franchise that people are probably not giving enough credit to? We're giving Stroud credit for being in the MVP race. They could win 2 other end of the season awards. You know which ones I'm talking about?
For who?
The Texans.
Oh, he'll get offensive.
Oh, I'm just saying positions besides the quarterback. They have people that might win 2 other.
Not coach of the year.
Yeah.
No way.
He's a candidate.
He's not going to win it. The guy from Detroit's going to win
I said a
it. I know.
candidate.
I know. I'm just
A
messing.
candidate.
Because
Yeah, candidate.
between him and I'll say general manager can be thrown in the mix too with Detroit, because I think Detroit's done a great job too. But how ballsy was it to trade this year's pick to get a second pick in the first round, and you took what you considered the best offensive player available,
defensive player,
and being a defensive coach, because both those guys have had great years.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's not enough to get them into a winning team. Well, what are they doing in year 1? They also drafted Tank Dell last year. You know what I mean? Like, they got people, and then they made good moves. They traded for Schultz in the offseason. They drafted an offensive and defensive rookie that would be around. They drafted Tank Dell, who's shown he can play as a rookie. Their GM, I think, is the old Patriots guy, right? He was the assistant GM before he went to Houston or something like that. But D'Amico Ryans has done a great job with the decisions him and the GM have made.
Yep.
I don't know if I would have had the balls to pull that. I'm trading next year's draft pick for this year's draft pick. They gave up a lot to switch. It wasn't just, giving up this year's for next year's. It was like a number 2, give you next year's number 1. And they don't have a lot of capital left for the draft, but they own somebody else's pick. So I think they got a pick in like the 20s for next year. But man, Houston's fun to watch, and they turned it around quickly.
Can you say balls on air? Oh, I think I just did, Kevin. I said balls on air.
You know how many times Goff said, my man, my man got balls.
Baseball, basketball.
All right. So any other games that caught your eye?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of them.
Yes, there was a bunch of games.
Okay, well.
Yeah, it's just a lot to talk about. You know why? There was 10 games that were settled by 4 points or less.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of close games. It was real interesting.
What I took into account was the games, the games that were, there were some games that were played by teams that weren't good.
But the Seahawks Commanders, that one came.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
There was what? There was like 4 games that were won by a field goal at the end.
But can we really call Denver and Buffalo?
It ended up being exciting at the end, but
can we really
22?
But
I'm saying that they only won because
Raiders
somebody.
And Jets,
all field goal game. But Denver.
But that Seattle Commodores game was a good game.
Cardinals and Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
25-23.
See, but my thing is
is levels.
You wanna weigh it into importance. They're like 2 different teams. But for me, the ugliest game was that Denver Buffalo game. I mean, it was mirrored by a bunch of bad mistakes, turnovers, and then the guy misses the field goal at the end, and you had too many guys on the field.
And then you go and fire your offense coordinator.
Well, let's get to that. All right. We were talking about interceptions, right?
Yeah.
I wish people would run it with the same intensity when they talk about Josh Allen as they do with Dak Prescott.
He hasn't been the same since Dayball left. Dayball kept him under control because he was that guy that he is this year, his first year in the league. But he ran a lot. But
not for nothing. I believe Paul said it. He wins playoff games.
He does. But I think he's had more weapons in the past. I mean, he's got Diggs.
More weapons?
He doesn't have the running game. I'm not sold on their running game.
So
he's their best runner.
So I wouldn't say he had more weapons than Dak.
No,
Dak had a bunch of receivers that were good. He had a backfield that was good. He had an offensive line that was good.
I was thinking why he was good. I didn't know you were comparing it to Dallas.
No, all I'm saying, listen, it comes down to one thing. INTs.
Yeah.
You can't erase INTs. And he's got way more than any quarterback going right now, he
reminds me of a primetime Brett Favre, thinking your arm is strong enough to get through any situation. I can throw it open. I can throw through a defense.
If you ask me, his problem is he has one eye and it's on one receiver at all times.
Diggs doesn't think so.
He gets more balls than anybody.
He still doesn't think so. I heard his interview today downplaying his brother saying, come to Dallas.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't say come to Dallas. He said he needs to get out of there.
He needs to get my brother needs to get out of there.
But people wanted to assume he was trying to recruit him.
No. No.
That was in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, he did that. That was just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Kevin, no, you didn't miss it. We didn't talk about Russell Wilson. So the flip side. All right, let's talk about Denver, right? Since they got 70 dropped on them, right?
And motivated them.
Yeah. They've won 3 out of the last 4.
The team. It hasn't.
Guess who we played this Sunday night?
It motivated the team. It hasn't really motivated Russell Wilson.
Well, Russell
Wilson.
Played better. Oh, he's played better.
Not really.
Kevin, drop some knowledge on.
Not really.
Kevin, drop some knowledge on.
I have him in fantasy.
But you see his
he's
touchdown
playing a lot better than
ratio.
He was.
Yeah, he's definitely playing better. But
the guy I feel is not producing is Jerry Jeudy. He's supposed to be a number 1.
He don't get the ball. He don't throw him the ball.
I think they've lost confidence in
him. How do you get confidence back? Give him a chance.
Well, people lost confidence in Russell Wilson, but he had to keep throwing the ball. But
he's the only guy there.
Sutton's playing better.
Sutton's a man.
So
Sutton's the man. I'm sorry.
So back to Russ. I wish I would have printed. I did read an article. And since that debacle in with Miami, his touchdown to interception ratio is amongst the best. He had, there you go, 18-4. That's great. That's great.
Over how period of time since that game?
Well, no. So he started out slow. Period. Yeah. But this is for the year 18.
Oh, I thought that was since the
no.
Okay.
He started out so the first 3 games, what were they? First 4 games, they were what 1-3 or something.
So you can't really say it was on him. Yeah, okay, Kev.
So you want to look at it, and everybody was down on him, and even we were talking about the beginning of the season was saying, wait a second, you got rid of you got him out of Seattle, and Seattle got a boatload of picks, and they got a quarterback that's leading them who has a better record.
Freed up a whole bunch of
money, picks, everything. You couldn't ask for more. And now he's turning it around. He is turning it around.
So out of 32 quarterbacks, he's 23. He's 23rd.
No, you're talking about efficiency and all that stuff, yardage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But look at the.
But they translated into wins.
Yes. Well, no.
Turning the ball.
It goes. All those factor into everything.
At one point, he was Kevin.
Yeah, he was. He was the biggest crook kissing babies.
And now that guy's in Cleveland.
But another reason why it was easy to point at Russell Wilson at the beginning of the year saying Denver's not doing it, or point at the coach. They didn't have, is it Javonte Williams? Who's the running back?
Yeah, Williams.
When that guy, he was hurt at the beginning of the year. They were going with Sammy P. Ryan. How do I know? Because I had him in fantasy and he wasn't doing nothing. And I thought he'd do a little something being the main back. But when he got healthy, because he can run and catch the ball, that's a whole nother option. Now you got a running game. You got a back who can catch out of the backfield. Sutton stepped up. Russell became very efficient. I don't know what their offensive line is, but it doesn't seem like he's getting sacked or beat up as much, because he used to be the most sacked quarterback when he was in Seattle. Him and Burrow at the top of that category every year.
Yeah.
But he's had other people. Sutton stepped up. This dude's healthy. if he can get Jerry Jeudy integrated into that offense again,
so
the defense is good except for that 1 week.
So going to the flip side, Josh Allen has turned the ball over in every game this year, with the exception of 2. All right, he has thrown an interception in 6 straight games. Now, how come he doesn't? Just imagine if Dak Prescott threw an interception in 6 straight games. How do you think that would work out? How many memes would there be with him? Turnover. He works in the bakery. He this, he that. He was throwing. I was open. He almost threw to me when I walked by. All these memes. But Josh Allen, right? They got 6 straight games.
He's got 11 INTs.
Amongst the league leaders?
He leads the league at 11.
Again.
And
Now, and you want to talk about turnover?
Jones in love with 10.
Yeah. All right. Where's Dak on that list?
Dak, where is he? He's got 6.
Okay, 6. 6. That's not a lot.
That's not bad.
No, it's not a lot. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I think that the way that obviously we were talking about that, Paul. He has to win in the playoffs, but even still, even during the regular season, God forbid he throws 2 or 3, the world is coming to an end.
Yeah.
It's just a parody. So they even brought it up on ESPN. What's his name?
You know his name, Stephen A. The Cowboy.
No, not Stephen A. The quarterback there that played for UConn. What's his name?
Orlovsky.
What's his name?
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky. He's a notorious Dak hater. He's hated Dak ever since.
You beat him in college?
He never beat
They didn't play
him.
against
He
each other
played
in college.
UConn. Played in UConn for crying out
No,
loud.
I'm saying ever since Dak beat him in college.
I don't think
they don't
played
play each other. No. So ever since he first came on board, he used to go hard for the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback that's played in every
shit.
that's played
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
And he just got signed again somewhere.
He just played on
the Rams.
They just brought him off
Rams.
the street. But he's played for 6 teams now, 6 teams,
Around that.
and is out of the league. But he was going hard, saying he's a better quarterback with a natural eye. The throws that he makes, what he does, and he does this, and he's been called out by just about everybody on the panel. And he was trying to make excuses for Allen, saying, "Well, there's only 2 of those interceptions that were his fault." Listen, come on, the guy fumbles and he throws to the wrong team.
Definitely, he's a turnover.
And I'm like, wait a second, how are you going to go? And even Stephen A. Smith, he's like, man, I can't rock with you on that. I can't rock with you. Everybody's calling them out. And in particular, they always reference them, that they always say, how come you don't come down as hard as you do on Dak? And he'll come up with a million different excuses.
Yeah. But
that's my point right there. Is when it's Dak that does it. And I told you guys last year, if you look at his overall numbers during the regular season, he does not turn the ball over like that. Last year was an anomaly. Okay, we got that out the way, and he's not doing it this year.
But the crazy part about it is like I want to say it was Paul that brought it up. Dak ain't been the same ever since.
He hasn't been
more conservative.
A lot more conservative. So let's just look at it this way, right? What has he been doing the last 3 to 4 weeks that he hasn't been doing?
Using a tight end?
No, using his legs.
Yeah.
To extend the plays. Not sitting in the pocket as much. He's been using his legs to be able to get out on the edge to extend the plays. If he doesn't have anything, he's making a quick decision to run.
Yeah. That's
what's been helping him out in the last 4 games. But since his injury, he's always, ever since he got hurt, he's more reluctant to pull the trigger to run. It's a last option only. We've witnessed so many times watching him sit back there and we're like, you gotta
run
field full of green, run, run, Forrest, run.
That's going to play into my point because a lot of people say Dak hasn't won in the playoffs. Yeah. But my biggest thing that I don't like about what Dak's doing is his decision making. That playoff game where they didn't spike the ball in time.
yeah.
He went through spurts this year where he wasn't using CeeDee Lamb enough. You got a number one receiver. People were questioning CeeDee Lamb being the number one wide receiver when Dak wasn't finding him.
Well, no, wait. So to correct that, it was how they were using CeeDee Lamb.
Him in the slot.
They were hiding him in the slot. Okay, and when you're in the slot, obviously you can be either side. A safety can gauge you. Linebackers can zone in on you. There's a lot of things. You put them out on the edge, and you have the sideliners. You drag them across the field. Guess what? You can't cover that. It's harder. You can cover it, but it's a lot harder. Ever since they lost to San Francisco, they went out and they said, "Listen, we're gonna make a continued effort to find ways in which we're gonna get him the ball." Ever since then, what did he do?
Do you like Kevin Rudolph's last
broke a
comment?
record. Yeah, exactly.
Like him to use him like that.
Well, I don't know.
You said hide him in the slot, but
I don't know if I don't know if I put him to run like Debo because he's not physically gifted like him. Yes,
line him up
jet sweeps and stuff like that. But I wouldn't use him like Debo. He's a little more afraid.
That's why Debo's always hurt too.
Yes, though. He's a little more.
Debo's
he's a lot
built muscular,
but he runs like a running back. He seeks out the
he doesn't avoid contact.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He can run by him and around, and sometimes he's like, I'll run you over.
Didn't say run him. No, yeah. You listen. So the best thing that you do, Kevin, maybe you can agree with me this is never keep one play in the same position. It's just, and that's what they were doing. How many times did you see when they had Amari Cooper? How many times did you see him in the slot?
I don't think I've ever seen him.
Isn't Amari Cooper a little bit bigger than CeeDee Lamb?
He's a lot bigger, but why would you put him? He's your best player. Why would you put him in the slot?
I thought they could get better matchups for him.
No. So what happens is
covering the slot receiver.
No. A slot receiver is going to be
or linebacker.
No. It depends on the down.
Not usually a cornerback.
It depends on the down. It depends on the down. So if you're in a slot, a lot of times, unless you got a shutdown corner that's going to follow you all over the field, it might be your second or your third cornerback.
So I thought they were playing the matchup, trying to take advantage of that.
But wait a second. I mean, I'm not an NFL scout or anything, but I did sleep at a motel, whatever it was called. But I know that he's the best. I know that he's the best wide receiver on the field. I'm going to try to take him away at all costs. I don't care how you know what I'm saying? But you continually move him around. You never let him get comfortable in one spot. And that's the mistake that they were doing. Now they're changing it up. But Gaylord. Yeah, I just stay at the Gaylord. That's a good one. But it's just one of those things. And since they've lost and he complained, he was frustrated. All he's gone on to do is set an NFL record with 10 catches, at least 10 catches for $150. And people say, oh, he did it against scrubby teams. One of those teams was the Eagles. And
scrubby team, it's a team in the NFL.
Exactly.
They're not scrubs.
And
they were scrubs.
I had a Philadelphia Eagle fans come on my post and say, "Oh, there we go, getting happy again, beating these." I said, "No, I'm doing."
Fan.
No, it was.
I thought.
No, it was the Eagles fan.
I thought
Mr. Raymond. He said to me, he says, "Oh, here you go again." I said, because I said you can put it. He's up there in the air, and when I said that, I didn't say he's as good as they are. I said he is in the area code, meaning yardage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So if we remember, right, let's talk about how he started off. Right.
He's 30 yards. He's 30 yards. Actually, 30 yards behind AJ Brown.
Okay. All right. And like 90 yards away from, or close to 100 yards away from.
It's 99 yards.
Okay. All right. There you go. Okay. So let's talk about who did you have him in your
I have who?
CeeDee Lamb.
I got him in one league.
Did you want to kick yourself in the ass after the first 4 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever it was, 4 weeks? He started off really slow, really, really slow. That was a part of their offense.
I felt like I wasn't getting the production I expected.
No,
but I didn't jump off the bandwagon.
No.
No.
It was too early.
I gotta wait it out.
He's the number one. He's the number one.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's what I was referring to. I just wanted to acknowledge an individual accolade, and then Cowboys fans are happy. That's what they rather have. Wait a second. If your guy did something good, you would say, okay, kudos to him.
Of course.
I didn't say anything, out of the norm. It's like, congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here goes those Cowboys game. Get happier with individual awards. And I'm saying to myself, no, I didn't say that. It's a record. No matter how you look at it, it's a record. And I said, wait a second. You play against those same teams.
Yeah.
AJ Brown was feasting for a month, but you know what? He didn't have 10 plus 150. He might have had 9 for 160 or 8 for 155, but he didn't have the 10. That was the difference. All right. And I left it at that. But that was the whole premise of my post, was just to say, we're on fire. This is our year. They all like to say we do that. Or I'm like, not me. You don't never catch me doing that. I think I'm as real as it gets. I don't care. But yeah, no, I know we can acknowledge our team. But moving on, we'll move on. All right, so one last team. If you want to talk about it, we need to move on to another topic. If you want to talk about another close game, but we need to move on. Oh yeah,
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't know about Steve, but I'm good.
All right. So,
No, but while we're on football, just as a homer remark, what do we think's going on with Minnesota with the 5-game winning streak? Is it all fluffing? Because I'm really trying to figure that out, because I try not to get too happy. I keep thinking we're going to lose. We end up finding a way to win, and I get false hope. And
you beat the 49ers. That's a big win. Right?
Yep.
Who else? Let me see.
He'll tell you. Ask him.
I don't want to ask him. I want to look at my own.
I didn't know what to. The only thing I thought we wouldn't beat, and it ended up proving true, is if Derek Carr plays like the Derek Carr of old.
But he got hurt.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing great as it was anyway. I mean, we beat some good teams, and we don't have a running game. We lost our number 1 wide receiver. We lost our quarterback, who was playing MVP status, and it's like we're still finding a way to win somehow. And I was like, is it all Josh Dobbs? I think it's more our head coach. I'm learning to love my head coach more and more and more.
This is
he putting us in a position to win.
And not for nothing. And I'm not going to sit here and take anything away from Dobbs, but the teams that you guys played with Dobbs, I don't think they have the film on him yet.
But he also didn't know the offense yet.
That's what I'm going to get at also.
Okay.
Which says he didn't even know that his guys on his name's team on his names. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But it's not like he had impressive numbers. He did it with his legs.
And that's an element that Brian made a comment during the game like that. You don't see Kirk Cousins doing that.
Yes.
I also don't see Josh Dobbs beating a team with his arm like Kirk Cousins
does.
But I don't see Kirk Cousins being able to mix it up. And when things break down, you got a whole nother element to it. That dude ran like 40 yards to gain a 17-yard touchdown or something like that.
But
he gives us a different dynamic, different element.
Now this is what I'm going to get at with the film. This guy's been a journeyman backup. I don't think he's just going to.
He's only been in the league 5 years,
and he's been a backup all the years. A lot of times he was on a practice team.
I don't know if he's been on a practice team, but he's been the number 2, and he's played for teams.
He was on the Detroit Lions practice team when Arizona picked him up.
He was
or the Browns
Cleveland.
picked him up.
Yeah, Cleveland.
When the Browns picked him up, they picked him up off of Detroit's practice squad. And then even with the Browns, he was.
I just think because he was always brought up to be the number 2, and he's been in a lot of positions where he's had to stop. Everywhere he's gone, the quarterback, he's replacing the quarterback who got hurt or something like that. He was brought in to be insurance. Minnesota had to bring him in out of necessity.
Yeah.
And there's other guys. I'll admit it. I wanted to go after Winston or maybe Kyler Murray, but I didn't want to take on Kyler. I don't like Kyler Murr's attitude.
You don't want that.
And I was like, Dobbs, yeah, he's all right, but we won't win. And we won with him, and he's looked good, and he's rejuvenated my confidence.
Now this I understand. Trust me, I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but let's see what he can do when the team has a full week to prepare, knowing that he's going to be the guy.
Well, they had a full week last week. He came in the first week without knowing anybody. Last week he started. And now this week he's going to start. I think it's going to be a tougher game than we expect because Denver's playing well.
We played the Saints.
Saints got a good defense. We don't have JJ. We don't have a running game. How the hell are you scoring? It reminds me of Cleveland. Our defense has also stepped up.
The defense definitely stepped up. I'll give you that.
On defense, Daniil Hunter has to be considered in the top 3 for Defensive Player of the Year as well. He's still leading the league in sacks. He's dominating. He's staying healthy. What Brian Flores has done with our defense has helped our offense. We're not putting ourselves in tough situations. We're not turning the ball over on offense. The defense isn't giving up any quick drives. So
your defense definitely has a lot to do with the success that you got right now.
But I was just curious to throw that in because I go back and forth like the devil and the angel trying to say, do I believe in my team? Or damn, I wish we would have just played for the draft pick.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some NBA news. All right. Keep it tuned. Keep it locked right here to WMB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports.
I would like to introduce.
Okay, let's go.
New Sports, new online radio station.
WMB1 Radio
Broadcasting live 24/7. All music genres.
WMB1 Radio.
Your urban music link.
Is your house in need of a good paint job?
We have the perfect solution for you. Yes, we can house paint. Yes, we can painting. Paints everything from interior to exterior projects.
From dining room, living room, pantries to cellars, or if you're in need of a total makeover where the outside of your home needs a new paint job, then Yes We Can House Painting is the perfect painting service for you. With 15 years of experience, Yes We Can House Painting will give you a professional makeover that will have your neighbors glowing with envy.
Call Yes We Can at 774-510-4840 or email them at yeswecanpainting@gmail.com. And also tell them that your friends here at WMB1 Radio sent you. Yes, spring is in the air, and if you're looking to get cleaning done the right way, then Newbie Cleaning is a cleaning service for you. Newbie Cleaning is a licensed, insured, bonded, and a locally owned residential and commercial cleaning business which has over 15 years experience providing quality cleaning services in all of Bristol County. Did we mention that they provide services for homes, schools, churches, medical facilities, office buildings, restaurants, post-construction cleanups, and after-party cleanups? Newbie Cleaning has customized packages that tailor to deep cleaning, whether you're moving into a new home, moving out of an old home, or you simply want that vacation home clean. Newbie Cleaning is flexible in booking appointments weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, or if you just want a one-time clean. Newbie Cleaning takes pride in the level of service in which they provide, so they have a higher level of cleaning experience that they can add to a business to ensure that they are up to code and compliant with cleaning regulations. You can rest assured that once they clean a service location, all products and equipments are used solely for that location only. No mop or no rag is used and transferred to another location where germs can be spread. They pride themselves on quality service, and they do the same with their employees by offering competitive wages as well as flexible schedules. Remember, cleaning service is the perfect gift for realtors looking for closing gifts or for showing your appreciation by helping someone take a break. No job is too big or too small for Newbie Cleaning Services, so give them a call at 508-974-4815. or visit their website at www.newbie-cleaning.com. And be sure to mention that WMB1 Radio sent you. Have you made that New Year's resolution to get into shape and you still haven't followed through with it? Then you need to join KO Gym.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
KO Gym is located at 50 Conduit Street in the north end of New Bedford, within the historic mills in a 5,000 square foot space, within plenty of room to train for social distancing, and the facility has unlimited parking outside. KO Gym offers exclusive training in Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, as well as strength and conditioning programs. So if you're looking to train to get into shape to train for self-defense, or if you're looking to train to compete professionally, KO Gym has experienced professional staff to help you obtain your goal. They also offer one-on-one personal training as well as group classes to satisfy everyone's needs. So go ahead and let KO Gym help you make that change for a healthy body and a healthy mind. And also tell them that WMB1 Radio made the referral for you. Welcome back to WMB1 Radio and Straight to the Point Sports. And at this time, we're gonna turn over to the NBA. As you know, Draymond Green is back in the news for all the wrong reasons.
Second week in a row, we're talking about
Yes.
knucklehead stuff.
Yes.
First, James Harden last week, and now Draymond Green. But it's the usual suspects.
Yeah. So Draymond, as you know, in case you must have been under a rock if you didn't see what happened, got into a little altercation and trying to defend Klay Thompson, who got into an altercation, and he took it. If you ask me, I'm going to put it out there. I thought he saw an opportunity to go and just and Debo somebody, and he did it.
Yeah, but because the guy that he went to Debo wasn't even fighting; he was breaking up a fight.
Exactly. That's asinine. Listen, even in hockey, I don't see guys come in and just throwing punches or anything. They kind of hold each other off.
Yep.
They don't put each other in a chokehold, like Baby Boy, you know. But we got the clip. And you can check it out for yourself. So here,
we're not doing that. This ain't that. Klay and McDaniel's going out of here, and then all of a sudden Gobert comes in, and Draymond's like, no.
Yeah, it's chill out. And then Draymond, he headlocked Gobert there. So
let me go.
Look at Rudy's face though. That killed me.
I know, but the crazy part about it is this dude got him in a headlock, and everybody else was grabbing Rudy's arms.
Yeah, I know.
Like. They didn't even give the guy a chance to defend himself.
It was uncalled for. And so this is in the last 6 years, he's been suspended 5 times. And it comes as no shock. He's just one of those guys that I think he's at the point in his career where he really doesn't care anymore.
No.
Number one. And number two, I think as a result of him, when he knocked out Jordan Poole, I think he thought he was justified. Everybody knows that everybody thought that Jordan Poole was a doink.
Yeah.
When he was at Golden State.
He said it, that he's been smoked until he got that contract.
Everybody, you know, it's publicly known that they didn't speak highly of him. And when they started the season off 6-2, that was the first thing Draymond said. He said, this year, as opposed to last year, there's no distractions. And then he said, hold my beer. 8 games later, I get suspended 5 games.
Hey, I didn't realize this, but Goldberg got ejected too. And he got
and he got fined. Yeah. Each of the players got fined.
He was
because he ran into the fight even to break it up. He still ran.
Did he come off the?
No, he was on the. He was on.
But he arrived at the fight putting hands on Klay or something. He was trying to separate it, and that's when Draymond grabbed him.
Yeah, I didn't agree.
But if he's here to separate, he's being a peacemaker.
Just all people
I didn't agree. I didn't agree with him being ejected because I thought he just was coming to make peace, but ultimately he became part of the fight.
Yeah, by no choice. He didn't even have a choice.
Yeah, he kind of got
hit him in the hands with my throat.
He kind of got
he got shafted, bro.
And so
And he got hit with a $25,000 fine.
yeah. Well, each of all the players got
Except
25, except for Draymond. His is going to be like 500
769 97.
He doesn't get paid for.
Yeah,
all
he
those
loses
games. Plus he
paychecks.
got the 25,000, right?
He's losing paycheck money.
So was that because he got 5 games that equates to a lot of money?
769.
I think he should have got even more games.
769,000.
Frequent offender thing.
Yeah. That's the key right there. He's
always an
frequent. He's a frequent flyer on the bad boy list.
Yep.
All right. So the last time he was suspended was in the playoffs. Sacramento Kings. What did he do? Stomps on a guy's stomach. It's a bonus.
Yeah.
Stomped on his stomach.
Even did it in a
championship.
Take LeBron in the nuts.
Yeah. So he's no stranger to this. And the worst part about it is, dude, what are you thinking? There's cameras everywhere. Like they're not going to catch me from this angle.
They won't be watching me. I've only done it 7 other times.
Yeah, they're not. I think they're gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe and think it wasn't me. No, you got caught. And this is the thing with him. Like I said, I started to say he. I think that thing with the whole thing with Jordan Poole. I think it empowered him. And I think he thinks in his own mind, like, yeah, I could continue to do things like this because people will agree with me. A lot of people, let's put this out there. A lot of people, for some strange reason, don't like Rudy Gobert because of the whole COVID thing, right?
That was my reason. When I saw that meme, I fell off.
The whole COVID.
He made a joke about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
touching everybody's mic, right?
Next day,
and then the next day, yes, but not him. Well, it wasn't even him. Nobody would have cared if it was him. Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell was the one that got it. And that's what screwed everything up. But a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't like him for that reason. I think a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't like him for the fact that he got traded for like 11 team number ones. 11 team number
and he ain't
one.
do shit.
And he's not even his team's third leading scorer.
That's great.
So yeah, I think he catches the bad rap in that way. But I mean, it's just one of those things that I think that Draymond saw an opportunity to you make more money than me, mother, and you don't even got titles. And I thought he saw opportunity, and it was excessive. I mean, what was he yelling in his ear when he was choking him like 10 yards down the court? That's what I would like to know.
You ain't shit, bitch.
I would like to know what he was saying. I would like to know what he was saying, and you would learn a lot from that. But yeah, it's just the same thing with him. How much longer? I mean, it's all good and fun in games when you're winning, but when you're not winning, it's not fun. And they haven't won in 2 years, so it's like, how much more are they going to put up with this guy? And him continuing.
And he's not a superstar anymore.
No, he's long past.
I can't say that superstar. He's not an all-star.
No,
anymore.
he's long past that.
So,
he's long in the tooth when it comes to, like Charles Barkley said, those double doubles are turning into singles real quick. I mean, he's not lying. And if you were to put him on another team, those singles will become low singles.
You got to depend on him to contribute. He's fortunate to be in the situation he is. You got Clay, you got Steph, you got Wiggins, you got other people who can do the scoring.
Yeah.
You contribute.
He was just counted on to do the dirty work. And let's face it, he is a good passer. He's a good decision maker. He could bring the ball up. He's an excellent defender, but
even that slacked off now because abilities are starting to fail.
I would let's face it, when Dennis Rodman did it, he was still grabbing 20 rebounds.
Yeah.
Right? And you could overlook that. You can overlook him going to Vegas and disappearing. I need some time off. You can overlook that.
20 rebounds and shut down defense.
Exactly. And
aggravate the hell out of it.
And didn't need any shots.
Yeah. And Draymond,
I never heard Draymond complain about shots.
No. He never complained about it. But the thing is, he's not an all-world defender like Dennis Rodman was. And he certainly the hell isn't a rebounder like Dennis Rodman.
No.
So, but you know, it's just one of those things that I've been winning, and I believe I can do whatever I believe I can do whatever I want to do because my resume says so.
Yeah.
And because I play for the Golden State Warriors. You know, sad thing about it, right, is Steph Curry's hurt now, right? So now you have no Steph Curry. Now you have no Draymond Green.
How long is Steph out?
He's like day to day.
They said a few games.
Yeah, you know, but he's out. So if he's out 3 and then Draymond's out 5, Kuminga hasn't proved himself yet.
He started off good.
And
he just hasn't maintained. Preseason in like the first 3 or 4 games.
Well, preseason I'm playing against other guys scrubs, guys that are making. But you know,
look at Paul.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Not even close.
No, he's not. Stop it.
Close. Stop it. He's not a shutdown defender. He's not going to get you 20 rebounds.
And Dennis did it late in his career.
Yes.
You know, he was still doing it toward the end of his career.
Absolutely. He's not even listen. The difference between the difference, I'll put it to you this way: the difference between Dennis Rodman and Draymond Green is a shot. Okay, Draymond early in his career could make 3-pointers. That started to slowly dissipate as each year went on. His 3-point percentage literally went from like 37% to 32% to under 30%. That's the only difference. Other than that, you're talking about a player that could the players that could be mentioned, but once you everything else is different. He certainly isn't a lockdown defender. He's not going to get you 20 rebounds. If he gets you 20 rebounds, that's going to be a season high. You know, Dennis would get you 20, then go out and get you 28. You know, and he would shut down the best teams play. Green can't do that, and he hasn't been able to do that for a while now. You know.
And Paul, I think he's the best modern day comparison.
Yeah, but now
he didn't do it on the same level.
No, it's close.
If I had to pick primetime Rodman and primetime Draymond Green, I don't even think about that.
I'd pick him 10 out of 10 times.
I pick him 11 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
That new math, carry this.
Yeah, no.
Let's move on.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, I think he's fortunate. They love him like that. I think that the organization is starting to love him less and less.
Yeah, they're getting
and
sick of it.
Put Draymond in another system like we were talking about. He's a different player.
They get
Rodman
sick of it.
was the same player in Chicago, in Detroit, in
San Antonio. Yes,
everywhere he went,
yes,
he performed the same.
Yes. There wasn't much of a drop off with Dennis. You know, with Dennis, he was going to shoot a high percentage because he never really shot. He was going to give you a ton of rebounds, and he was going to knock off your guys, your best scorer. And that's it with him.
Agreed.
It's just one of those things.
And then he was going out that night and partying.
Yeah, and getting
and
marrying him his own stuff.
Yeah.
And then banging supermodels.
Yes.
But yeah, no,
don't forget Madonna.
Yeah, and Madonna too. But there's no, when people say that, oh, he's no, and not even close. I don't even. I can't. I see. I witnessed Dennis Rodman guard Shaq and hold his own.
Yes.
And hold his own. Draymond Green could not. He wouldn't even be able to. Not even close. Because something that Dennis Rodman has that Draymond Green doesn't have. He has athleticism and he had strength.
Yes.
Draymond Green is limited in his athletic ability.
And Dennis Rodman was a smart mother.
Yeah.
He was smart.
So there's for me is my, that's where everything separates. Dennis Rodman was freakishly athletic. And a lot of people don't give him credit for how strong he was.
Oh, yeah.
He was slender,
always in shape,
but he was listen, to be able to go against a guy that's 6'7", 6'7", to go up against 7-footers on a nightly basis, and to be able to pull down 17, 18 on a nightly basis, that's freakish. That is freakish.
That's hustle. That's heart.
That's hot. That's desire. That's athleticism, all rolled up into one person. Yeah. So when people say that, I'm like,
and he'll get in your head.
Yeah.
And he'll get in anybody's head.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think the whole thing with Draymond. I think, like I said, with Jordan Poole, they chose him over Jordan Poole, And I think there's a sense of entitlement there where he thinks like, yeah, see, they got rid of him. He made the money, but they kept me.
I think that was. I think that had something
because
to
they realized they gave too much money to Poole.
I think that had something to do with Steph too.
Well, no, so
Steph's tight with Draymond.
No. Yeah, well, they were the draft. They came in that order.
Yeah.
But the thing was, Jordan Poole thought he was part of the clan when he really wasn't part of the clan.
Exactly.
All right.
He's not proving nothing to me in Washington.
Oh no.
For all that money he's getting, Kyle Kuzma's the man over there.
He's got to shoot the ball in volume on a daily basis to get the points up like that. He's not, he'll do it once every 10 games probably. And that's not consistency. But I think for that sole reason, as a result of last year and them casting off Poole, I think he feels some type of entitlement. Like, yeah, see, they chose me. They'd rather have me. And I don't have to worry about a contract because they got my back. But I think slowly but surely that the organization is getting tired.
They have to be.
You've heard, so in the playoff games when he was getting those texts, they had Steve Kerr mic'd up, and he's like, he's doing that shit again. I'm getting sick of this. I mean, if it's coming out from your own coach, what do you think the GM's thinking?
Yep.
If you're a liability because of the fact that you might fly off the deep end and get suspended, and you're not going to be there, you have to have that in the back of your mind all the time.
And think about it like this: Steve Kerr played with Dennis Rodman. How many times do you think he tried to sit this guy down and talk to him about Dennis Rodman?
Yeah.
Dennis was more strategic in why he did it. We all thought he was crazy. I think
he was smart.
Smarter than a lot of people.
He was smart.
When he got kicked out of a game, he usually got the other player's best player or somebody real key kicked out with him.
Yeah.
Are you going to miss anything from me besides my rebound in the defense?
Yeah, no.
But you're missing 20 points and 10 rebounds on that guy.
Yeah. It was a perception that he created. And he was one of those guys that constantly was able to get in your head and to manipulate you into doing something that you didn't want to.
Exactly.
He was a high level instigator. Even when he was doing things correct. I mean, he would just constantly be in your head. But as far as the comparison, I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all.
Me neither.
But yeah, so with him, it's just one of those things that I don't know. He's doing more of a disservice to his team than than what, I don't know what his plan is, but maybe because it's the beginning of the season, it really doesn't matter. But when you started off 6-2, since then you've gone 2-4. All right, so you got to have some balance here. For me, I just, like I said, I firmly believe that he has a sense of entitlement.
Yep.
All right. So how y'all feeling about the NBA in season tourney? Like it or not?
I can't remember who's qualifying and who's not because I'm not paying attention to the standings.
All right. So I'll break it down for you real quick. So
Pool play.
So all 30 teams are playing. All right. Teams are broken up into 3 groups of 5, A, B, and C in both conferences.
All right. So they're keeping both conferences separate no matter what.
Yes. All right.
I think they should have mixed them.
Each team will play every team in their group field. And at the end of that, the teams will drop to A, B, and C will drop to 8 teams. There will be
2 from each one.
2 from each one, and 2 wild cards. Two wild cards. Those are the teams that finish.
That's
second.
like the play-in tournament.
Yes. So that's what happens with that. So then you come to the knockout round, okay? And once the knockout round has a single elimination at the end. Quarterfinal games count for the regular season. All right. So once the teams get knocked out, they'll do a simulation of games in which the teams will still be able to play that are knocked out. They'll still be able to play their games, and they'll count towards the 82 games. All right?
So these tournament games don't count.
No. The championship games don't count. The championship game does not count. It's going to be just considered as a.
Wow, so they'll play 83 games.
Yeah, it's just one game extra. That's all it is. They're not putting any fatigue on them, but that won't count for the overall record. All right. So you get to the knockout round, and then you go from there on. Like I said, the games will count up until the quarterfinals. The final games will not count. So postseason awards. All right. They're going to have obviously an all-tourney team. They're going to have an MVP, and there's money that comes along with it. Obviously. All right. Prize money for the champions. For the tournament, MVP based on the tournament, whatever. Prize money, semifinals. If you make it to the semifinals, you get an extra 100K. Championship, you get 200K. The champs get extra 500K.
People making 25 and 30 million a year, they're getting an extra 100K. Yeah, Jalen Brown's real happy about that. I get 60 million a year.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to add. It's a few things.
Yeah, but you're getting more money for pretty much
playing
regular season games.
Yes, you're still playing. Yeah. So
they want them to take it serious.
This is what they want to add some excitement. They want, and the number one cause for this is they don't want people to sit. They want to get away from the
time management. Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Well, that's a good idea.
And they want to bring up some, they want to add. So the next thing that they're working on is the All-Star game. They want to get away. So rumor has it that they're going back to East-West. They're not going to do the drafting.
I heard World versus US.
Well, no. So they tinkered with that, but they're doing the East-West. They're gonna keep everything else as far as dunk, but they're trying to come up with some type of formulation of what can make the All-Star game better. Because let's face it, who watches the All-Star game?
It's awful now.
They don't even play.
It's like the NFL Pro Bowl.
They don't even play defense.
It's like people are half.
They see guys coming and they're like,
a flag game.
They see guys coming and they're like, you got Steph Curry laying down so Giannis could do a crazy dunk or whatever the case can be. You want to make it interesting again? You get all those star players. You get all the top dunkers, and you put them in the dunk competition. All right. You get all your best 3-pointers, and you don't. Oh no, we're putting this guy in, and we're putting that guy in.
So the NBA names them, so you can't just back out.
Well. This is.
I was like, what's the incentive? Because I don't think it's money that keeps them out of it. I think their ego's like, I don't want to be proven that somebody's a better dunker than me.
Exactly. So this is what separates the guys, the men from the boys.
Another reason why I loved it back in our day.
Let's face it. Michael Jordan knew, listen, I want to be considered the top dunker. I got to go against Dominique. Yeah. I got to go against Clyde Drexler.
Yeah, there was more than
I got to go against everybody.
All the best dunkers were in it.
I got to go against everybody that goes.
Webb.
I got to go up against everybody that goes and puts their name, that signs their name as the best dunkers. I got to play against them. I got to, compete against them. And it was the same thing for the 3-point contest. It wasn't like, oh, this guy wants to go because he wants a weekend out and NBA weekend. No, there's some guys that don't belong in the 3-point shootout. There's some guys that don't belong in the dunk contest.
Yep.
But because of the participation level is so weak, it's like, okay, we'll take you.
Yeah, anybody can.
Okay, we'll take you.
Like, all bullshit aside, the guy that won it last year, he wasn't even in the NBA.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, McClung.
Yeah,
Matt McClung,
the kid from Georgetown.
Yeah.
And Philly. He noticed he's not signed by nobody now.
No,
he was only signed because he's a great dunker.
A 10-day contract so he can participate.
Don't be surprised. There's another white dude that's winning dunk contests in the dunk contest scene away from
the kid with the crazy hair.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring him in or some other people. I would rather see them guys showcase their championship because they're real talented.
You know what I would do?
I'd be real excited to watch
do?
people.
You know what I would do?
Have them go against NBA dunkers.
No. I wouldn't even do that.
Them.
I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that because that's detrimental. Because if you have these dunkers showing up, your guys,
it's only dunking.
I would no. I wouldn't even say. I'd say let's hold a world dunk contest. Anybody all over the world can come in,
but you gotta qualify.
Yes, you gotta qualify. So I'd say okay, just like how they're doing this tournament, we'd hold a world tryout. And you have all year. So you would go and you'd have these contests, and then
like the
out of the world, you have 8 dunkers, and you're in it. See you later, NBA.
Yeah.
See you later. You know what? You can participate in 3-point contest. You can participate in, but you know what? It'll
You're not
bring
gonna
some
take it
excitement back.
serious. Yeah,
It'll bring some
you're watering
excitement.
down the All-Star Weekend
Yeah.
excitement because we all look forward to not only the dunk contest. I don't care about the skills contest. I don't care about 3-on-3. Or
I don't want to
else
see
they do.
Giannis and his two brothers, bro. I'm all set.
Hey,
I'm all set. I'm all set. So, what they're trying to do right now is they're brainstorming some things in which they can do. So we don't know the true. We don't know what the true NBA All-Star is going to look like. They're trying to come up with some life-saving measures for the league.
They need something bad.
Because even
that's a money-making ploy for the NBA.
Yeah.
They're losing their shine. They're losing their. Nobody really cares no more.
So think about it, right?
Viewership's
All the
gonna
other
be down.
sports have got it. So in baseball, the home run derby, all right,
And the big names go in it.
Exciting.
In baseball, you have the winning team gets home field advantage.
Yep.
Hockey, they've come up with the new formula.
Like a tournament.
Yes, they come up with the new formula, right? So that it's adding excitement. Basketball is the only sport. Football, forget about it. They should just do away with it. NFL weekend. They're going back to they want to go back to the flag football until somebody rips their knee up. Well,
You can get hurt just as bad in those games.
Yeah,
sometimes going half-ass is worse than
so
full
basketball. They've gone astray for years now, and it just hasn't been exciting.
Yeah.
So the last time the dunk contest was exciting was when they had Zach LaVine and
the kid from Denver.
Yes. Yeah, that was the last time. Yeah. All right.
And that was really exciting.
That was what 9 years ago?
Yeah, him and Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon.
9 years ago.
2 years in a row.
Yeah. But it's almost to the point now it's like useless. I'm like, whatever. I don't even want to.
I couldn't tell you the last time I watched it.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon.
That was the last time I watched it.
Yeah, it was the last time I watched it. But they're trying to come up with a formula to save. Let's face it. The highlight was the dunk contest. Everybody wanted to come see the top dunkers dunk and do what they do. There's no reason why Zion Williamson isn't in the dunk contest. You do all these crazy dunks in 2 lines. Why can't you do them in the dunk contest?
The kid with the guns from Memphis.
John Morant.
John Morant.
Yeah,
he should be in it.
Listen,
you can't bring his guns to the dunk contest.
No.
He uses it as a prop.
No talking about guns.
Use it as a prop.
Yeah, they'll be like, you're suspended, buddy. So all the top dunkers should be in it.
Yes.
There shouldn't be no question about it. You should be in it. You should want to be in it. That's being an ode to you. Like, yes, you're the best. Come on, get into it. But these guys, they don't take it that way. I really don't get it. The 3-point shooting contest should be based upon your ability and how you're shooting 3-pointers.
Exactly.
Okay, for either for the current year or the prior year. I don't want to see somebody in there that is not a 3-point shooter.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before. They had a guy in the dunk contest that had like 3 or 4 dunks in a game. Period.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Like, how the hell do you get in a dunk contest?
And did they change the format? Because I don't know if it was last year or a couple of years ago, where you had a time limit to as many dunks as you want. I feel like if you miss, you miss.
Yeah, that's the way
you shouldn't like. That started way back with the Nate Robinson stuff. Yeah. But then I see people trying all these dunks and then they're racing just to get a dunk down at the end.
And
that's just to get points.
Yeah.
I think you get a certain amount of dunks and that's it. If you miss, you miss.
2 misses and you're out.
Yeah, you can try it twice.
Yeah, he had like 16 tries going between his legs, throwing it off.
It was halfway through the 3rd quarter when the dunk contest ended.
And when he finally got it done, it didn't even go in clean.
Yeah.
And they still gave him a 50.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But yeah, so they're trying. They haven't, like I said, they haven't released all the info about it, but they're going back to the East versus West. Which I think is better anyway.
I think so too.
Because there's no loyalty. You just play for your side and that's it. These guys are picking their buddies, and it turns out to be stupid.
Disrespecting other guys by leaving them out there, not picking them up. Like
Jokic was the last pick.
Yeah. MVP.
MVP. They left him at the last pick. Like he was sitting there, like
Nobody wants me. I'll just go out and show that I'm the best player and win the championship.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, they need to go out
and then they did it with Harden too.
Yeah, like it's stupid. All right, we've come to the end of another edition. We got to get out of here so we can watch some football. Good game on.
All right,
this is a good game.
Good game on. Good game on. And we need to let you know that we're having a comedy show tomorrow. After party, comedy show and after party.
Man, I missed the after party.
All right.
I like everybody mingling. Like we mingle with our supporters. The comedians are up close and personal with the supporters, and we get to let our business side down and just party.
Wheeler Inn and Suites. All right. It's 500 Hathaway. Is it Road? Yes.
Yep.
500 Hathaway Road. Tomorrow, November 17th, Friday. All right.
Plenty of parking.
$25 in advance. If you haven't gotten your tickets,
it'll be
by
30
tomorrow. It'll be 30 at the door.
Don't come saying but.
If you're a veteran, $15 to get in with slashing at half price. All right.
No matter when you show up. Show
all
up
right.
if you're a veteran.
If you can, go to the website, WMB1.com, and grab your tickets there. If not, you can hit one of us up prior to tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'd say probably 3:00.
And we've gotten calls today, man. Yesterday and today were a lot of interesting calls. People deciding they're going to come through.
So yes, tomorrow. So we'll have vendors market. Doors open at 8:00. It'll be vendors market. A lot of good vendors with product to buy. Come on down, check it out. We'll have food available, alcoholic beverages to go with your food. And then get much better than that. You can chill out.
I'm really excited about the food and the after party. We know the talent's going to be there.
Yes.
Hey, who's DJing the after party?
Some newbie.
At any rate, we'll have
mags in the evening.
We'll have all that on tap tomorrow at our comedy series and after party. Make sure you come on through, check it out. All right, it's sure to be a great time. All right. Until then, we're signing out of here, and we'll do it all again next week. All right, Thursday. Next Thursday, right here on WMB1 Radio at WMB1.com. So until next week, we're out of here. We're gonna go watch the game now. All right. Peace. We're out.
I would like to introduce.
Okay, let's go.
New online radio station.